Gue ini dia.
Itu wis diserung.
Mana? Ini udah masuk ya? Kayaknya ini udah masuk.
Udah. Oh, OBS ini beda ya.
OBS ini apa?
Namanya versi nih. Di tempatnya langsung bisa.
Versi Pro.
Ya enggak, maksudnya yang yang terbaru.
Kalau yang Aliyu Pak dikirimnya ke siapa? Ya, terus kita pembukaan dulu.
Sebentar, kayaknya bocor ya. Mic-ku belum tak matiin.
Mati. Udah dimatiin.
Berarti Zainab juga Pak?
Enggak, Ayu itu Zainab. Terus yang tadi siapa? Salman ke Adit.
Udah dimatiin.
Betul siapa?
Dari zoomnya aja Pak, di-mute dulu aja.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wa bihi nasta'inu ala umuri dunya waddin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'du. The Excellency Mr. Bejo Santoso MT PhD, Director of Universitas Islam Sultan Agung, the Honorable Professor Olivia Fahrunisa PhD, the Dean of Faculty of Economic Universitas Islam Sultan Agung, the respectable Prof. Abdul Ghaffar Ismail from Organizational of Islamic Economic Studies and Thoughts, also the Session Chair Muhammad Hakimi Mohsyafiai from University Kebangsaan Malaysia, and Muhammad Hilal Hamzah from Universitas Trisakti. Respected invited lecturers, speakers, and students from Faculty of Economics Universitas Islam Sultan Agung, and distinguished participants. First of all, I would like to invite the gratitude expressed to God Almighty, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, since only by His blessing and His mercy we gather in this very important and prominent occasion. Secondly, salawat and salam be with our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who has guided us and taught us the meaning of life. We are Muntahara and Cindy. Will be the master of ceremony, and we are pleased to welcome you to the workshop of Islamic Microfinance. This workshop on the economics of Islamic microfinance will be conducted from March 30 to 31, 2021. It is a meeting of Islamic scholars that is hosted jointly by Universitas Islam Sultan Agung and Organizational of Islamic Microfinance. It is our great pleasure to be the host for this great event. On behalf of the committee, we would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have three agendas. The first agenda is remark, the second agenda is session discussion, and the third agenda is the second session discussion. Before we start this occasion, let's open with reciting Basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The second agenda is remark that will be delivered by Director of Universitas Islam Sultan Agung, Mr. Bejo Santoso MT PhD. The time is yours.
Alhamdulillah. You forget to unmute me. Thank you, dear Mr. of Ceremony, MC, Mrs. Mutahharoh. Alhamdulillah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillahilladzi hadana li hada wa ma kunna linahtadiya laula an hadanallah. Allahumma sholli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali sayyidina Muhammad. Amma ba'du. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Bismillahi masyaallah. Maka min nikmatin fa minallah. Distinguished guests as well as distinguished speaker is in this special and prestigious event in this morning, especially the respectable Professor Abdul Khabar Ismail, PhD. Actually, he is my teacher during my study in Malaysia. Distinguished guests and distinguished speaker, Professor Muhammad Hakim Muhammad Safi'i from University Kebangsaan Malaysia, and distinguished guests, Professor Muhammad Hilal Hamzah from University Trisakti Indonesia, Excellency our Dean of Economic Faculty, Professor Dr. Olivia Baharunisa, SE, MSE. She is the main host in this event, as well as the Dean of Faculty of Economic Unisula. Also respected all of invited speaker, lecturer and student that will share their knowledge in this morning conference. Alhamdulillah wa syukurillah wa nikmatillah. In this morning, we have special event, namely workshop on the economic of Islamic microfinance. This is our university concern, Unisula, actually the Islamic University of Sultan Agung, which is concerned to develop microfinance. Of course, Islamic microfinance, and to strengthen the micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSEs. So every year, we concern to discuss, to develop, and doing research in this field. Because with Mr. Condro Kartiko Wibowo as the president of Perhimpunan BMT Indonesia, PBMT, we already signed the MOU and MOA as well. Unisula and BMT Indonesia concerned to develop micro, small, and medium enterprises. Because as you know, that MSEs is very important in Indonesia. Because most of them share to the Indonesian GDP, employment, and share their product to enhance our daily life. For example, we call it the product asasi, the important product. And now Unisula has become prominent university in Jawa Tengah to develop microfinance and micro small enterprises, and halal center to support them to make sure that micro, small, and medium enterprise produce halal product. So we have concern in three things: Islamic Microfinance, MSEs, and Unisula Halal Center. This year, in this state growing state, we have vision is this year and the next year in the sustainable development in these three research center area. So it's very proud for Unisula that this morning conducted by Dean of Economic and Mr. Widianto, candidate associate professor, Unisula conduct the workshop in my Islamic microfinance. This is very important. So Unisula will support this thing because Unisula is Islamic university that concern to Islamic value, include Islamic economic, Islamic finance, and Islamic Halalpreneur. Happy seminar, happy workshop. May Allah bless all of us, increase His blessing to all of us together to sharing knowledge and to preparing the better future. Thank you to all of you and congratulations, especially Prof. Abdul Ghabar from Malaysia. Thank you, Prof. Good morning, Prof. Long time I didn't see you. I can go to Malaysia to what I call. I remember that you menjamu kami di Padang Harapan tuh, makan tom yum sedap tuh, Prof.
Yes, insyaallah.
Pas tuh saya juga ingat tuh dengan Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia ya, itu tempat main kami kedua itu.
Ya. Yeah.
Thank you, Prof.
Insyaallah.
Also Pak Kartiko, Dr. Kartiko Condro Wibowo nih, and this very concerned to develop Islamic microfinance in Indonesia. May Allah give the reward to Pak Kartiko because he's very struggle man to develop Islamic microfinance. We are going together, Pak Kartiko. Without you, you know the singing from Josh Groban. You raise me up. You raise me up so I can stay on the mountain. You raise me up, Prof. Prof. Ghabar, give me support so I can walk in the stormy seas.
we will support your center of excellence.
Yes, thank you, Prof. Thank you, Prof. We need your support next in the next future.
Inshallah.
Thank you. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Bapak Bejo Santoso, MT PhD for the remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to let you know that right now we are live from Bilal Studio of Faculty of Economics, Universitas Islam Sultan Agung. And ladies and gentlemen, now we come to the next agenda, that is the first discussion session that will led by a session chair, Mr. Muhammad Hakimi Muhammad Syafiai from University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Please welcome Mr. Muhammad Hakimi Muhammad Syafiai as a session chair. The time is yours. Once again, we invite Mr. Muhammad Hakimi Muhammad Shafi'i to be the session chair in this first discussion session.
Dia masih di mute.
Good morning. Assalamualaikum Mr. Hakimi, Prof. Hakimi. Mi Bejo Santoso, Rektor Unisula. Welcome to this workshop. Join with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, while waiting for Mr. Muhammad Hakimi Muhammad Shafi'i as the session chair, we would like to inform you that today we will have several papers to be discussed. The first paper is written by Mr. Abdul Ghaffar Ismail with the title From Microfinance to Islamic Microfinance, The Quest for Identity. The next paper, we will have the paper from Mrs. Hajah Ros Abdullah from University Islam Sultan Arif Sharif Ali Brunei Darussalam, entitled Islamic Microfinance in Brunei Darussalam, the Role of Non-Government Organization. The third paper, we have Mr. Sultan Ahmad Shai, Project Coordinator and Editor, Islamic Economic Project, established University Karachi with the title of Integrated Microfinance Models for Effective Delivery and Impactful Outcomes. The fourth paper will have Rahana Abdul Rahman from Amanah Ikhtiar, Malaysia. Once again, we would like to invite Mr. Muhammad Hakimi Muhammad Shafi'i to be the session chair in this first discussion session. Mr. Muhammad Hakimi, could you please
minta tolong ini, saya pakai illness-nya pakai ini aja. Ini saya lip dulu.
Mr. Muhammad Hakimi Muhammad Shafi'i, the time is yours.
It's not in the list. It's not in the list of participants. Can you call them? Can you call Dr. Hakimi?
Jatuh.
Yes.
Session ini juga bagi aku mulakan. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum.
So thank you very much
Prof. Hakimi ya. Good morning. Join with us. Mi Bejo Santoso, Unisula Rektor.
Ya.
Good morning. Ya.
Pak Rektor Unisula.
Ya, assalamualaikum Prof. Hakimi ya. Long time I didn't see you ya.
Professor Abdul Ghaffar, all the organizing committee of workshop
Ganti share video gimana?
from Perhimpunan BMT Indonesia, from Icons led by Professor Ghaffar, and also definitely Prof.
For the first session, we will have 4 presenters, and from Malaysia, Indonesia, Brunei, Pakistan, and also from Amanah Ikhtiar Malaysia. Each speaker will be allocated 45 minutes. Perhaps they can do 20, maximum 25 minutes for the presentation, and we will have the discussion for each paper or speaker. And from there, we can, considering the limitation of time, we can open up for the Q&A. So for the first speaker, we do have Professor Abdul Ghaffar, Dr. Kartiko Adiwibowo, and also Dr. Widianto from University Science Islam Malaysia, University Muhammadiyah Semarang, and University Islam Sultan Agong. The title of this presentation, From Microfinance to Islamic Microfinance, the Quest for Identity, and I can see the speaker is here now. So without going any further, please, you can start the presentation, and after that we will continue for the discussion and also Q&A. Please, the floor is yours, Prof. Ghaffar. All right.
Yeah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Thank you very much, Dr. Hakimi, and our honorable guest, Dr. Bejo, my good friend. Long time haven't seen you, and also my colleague from New Zealand, especially we are from the dean of the faculty. And I would like to, and also the honorable speakers, guest speakers, and also the participant of this workshop. Okay, so I will present our paper on From Microfinance to Islamic Microfinance, the Quest for Identity. So this paper will be presented by me, but I should note that this paper also be written by my colleague from University Islam Sultan Agong, Dr. Widianto, and also Dr. Kartiko. Our colleagues we have been together since many years, and also we are doing on the same doing research on the same subject of microfinance. Okay. Let's outline my presentation. I will be talking on the evolution of microfinance from and also that what can be learned from that the evolution, and finally we are looking at the quest of identity. What should be the identity of the microfinance, and finally we'll come up with the conclusion. Okay. So let I start with the introduction. I think I'm sure all of you are aware that microfinance institution has been in the economy for how many decades, and also been recognized as a new financing tool for development. We are talking about the economic development. So normally the practitioner or the scholars agree that microfinance is always considered as one of the tools for development, especially for unbankable people, and also the aim is to promote financial inclusion. Okay? And we also notice, as I mentioned earlier, that the evolution of microfinance has been working or has been there for many decades, and especially for the Islamic microfinance, since the rise of Islamic microfinance was introduced. And one of the unique of this Islamic microfinance is the product which is not only compatible, but also the product which we respect and also we should believe in. Okay? So the product and also the services that been offered by the Islamic microfinance should be product that we should believe in, and also we should aware that this is another forms of financing tools for economic development. Okay. So what I'm going to do in this paper is survey the past literature on the evolution of microfinance, and from there what we can draw or what we can learn from this evolution. Okay. And finally, the paper will offer the quest for identity. We will suggest entrepreneurship, philanthropy, and access, and reject the view that one ought to belong to the capitalist system with stress on self-interest. So why we want to move away from this self-interest, but we want to suggest the entrepreneurship, philanthropy, and access. Okay. So I start our discussion on the evolution of microfinance, starting as a microcredit. I think it is been reported in many studies on this. When we discuss about the microfinance, it will quote that started in the 13th century, okay, 13th century, where a group of English Jews who become the pawnbrokers, and then they charge illegally high interest rate, and also access not only high interest rate but also charge at an excessive rate. Okay, and then in 1338, King Edward III pawned his jewels to raise money for his war in France. And in this 18th century, where an Irishman, Jonathan Swift, introduced a collateral-based loan, which was given to the poorest people in Ireland who were not being served by commercial banks. Okay? And then by 1800, the scheme had over 300 banks for the poor and serving over 20% of the Irish population. Okay? And Indonesia, I mean, one of the pioneer in microcredit, especially microcredit has been given by or provided by the cooperative, was established in Central Java by Arya Wiratmaja in 1896. At that time, when he studied the cooperative in Germany, okay, and then he come up with the idea on how he can introduce that cooperative to the civil servant, which are exposed to moneylender who charge high rate of interest. So if you look at this from this suggestion or from this the establishment of cooperative, it shows that the legal entity of cooperative would be more inclusive and owned by members themselves, or it is a people-based or people-driven credit cooperative. Okay, so why I do put the bold and with color there, legal entity, because one of the finding from this evolution is on the legal rules. Okay, so that's why I highlight that the legal entity. So they believe that the legal entity of cooperative should be based on people-based, yeah? And also people-driven credit cooperative. And another one is the debt-based concept was the main underlying contract at that time. Okay? And in 1970s, due to at that time, the theory of economic development moved away from the material development theory. They want to incorporate or they want to embed the social element in the development theory. So then they consider that the social development theory as one of the theory in its economic development. As a reflection of that views, as a reflection of their social views, developing country could not serve this theory in practice. Okay? So therefore, the result from this this theory is the gap in income. And then at that time, they suggested an intervention tools that were derived from social views. Okay? So what they had come up with that is that they want to focus on the poverty reduction and also social development. So that motivated the establishment of microcredit in Bangladesh. The famous one is a Grameen Bank. Okay, Self-Employed Women Association Bank in India, Bank Rakyat Indonesia, and Amanah Ikhtiar Malaysia, or AIM. Okay, and then if you look at from there, many studies were done to prove the feasibility and also the viability of the concept suggested by Muhammad Yunus, who was the pioneer in Grameen Bank, where they want to operationalize that microfinance institution and then to adopt the concept that had been established by Prof. Muhammad Yunus. Okay. Over time, we noticed that the development or the establishment, the amount of loan disbursed, and the outreach client ability to empower the vulnerable group are one among the success story about the microfinance in developing countries and also in the world. Okay? And what can we found from that is from the study is most microfinance institutions started their business as non-profit organization or NPO, okay, sustained by grant and also subsidies. But because of the good performance of this microfinance institution that attracted investors globally, turned that non-profit organization to turn in microfinance into a profit motive organization. So therefore, from there, commercial banks came in. Okay? All right. So, and then after that, they moved away from microcredit because we look at from the words microcredit is a credit given to the client. Okay. So they moved to microfinance. Why? Because they want to expand the product offered by microfinance institution. So not only specifically you provide loans, but you also provide the other facilities or other services like saving account, micro takaful, and also remittance. Okay? And what we can see from there is this development from microcredit to microfinance. Today, microfinance is considered as a global movement or is part of globalization process, meaning that the globalization process, we adopt the practice that been practiced in other countries, then we adopt that and we practice that in any particular region or in a particular jurisdiction. Okay, so what can we see from that as a global movement? We can see that several indicators of economic, social, and cultural opportunity have been that contribute to local development. So from here, microfinance, I've been able to change and also to contribute to the local development. And I got the report from McKinsey and Company, where in Asia Pacific region, bank lending to SME account for 1/3 of all bank loans in Asia Pacific, and SME portfolio expected to grow 9.4% annually to 23 trillion in 2025. So meaning, what does it mean? It means that SME become one of the catalysts of economic growth in Asia Pacific region. So therefore, the role of microfinance is to help the SME to flourish in the futures. Okay, but what we can also notice from there is the failure of commercial bank to provide financial services to the poor. Although as McKinsey produced the report that bank lending to SME become account for 1/3 of the total bank loans, but the failure of commercial bank to provide financial services to the poor and disadvantaged. Okay? And also not only that, disadvantage of using informal market like pawn shop or along or retainer and others. Okay, so therefore intervention is welcome at the micro level. That's why I want to highlight that intervention and also legal. Okay, and then the last one is sustainability of microfinance and the significance of growth of financing with the true mission of microfinance and how best to expand their reach. Okay. So finally, the final atom of the evolution of microfinance is migration to Islamic microfinance. Although we we have noted several success stories about microfinance, but this institution has been, or this program, microfinance program, has been criticized due to their product which do not comply with Sharia law. And also, the microfinance program does not incorporate their target in achieving the market Sharia. So meaning that the foundation of Islamic microfinance should eliminate the element of interest, darar and maishir, or in this case, we consider that as a self-exclusion. You want to exclude yourself from dealing with the microfinance because of this element. So in order to include yourself in that micro activities, you need to avoid this, or we need to eliminate the element. Okay. Another one is the plus the how can we care for the less fortunate, or empower to provide financial services to the poor. Okay. And also what we want to have is we want to mainstreaming the Islamic microfinance in the mainstream financial institution. Okay. What are the lessons that we can learn from this evolution? One is the important lesson is development intervention tools, and second is institutional framework, and third is the digital economy, which considered as external factors. Okay, and this is what we want to look at from the development, new development in the IR the revolution, industrial revolution 4.0. Okay. First, we look at the lesson learned development intervention tools. What are the group that we want to prioritize in these microfinance activities? Okay, which group we want to prioritize? Second is we need to get, in order to come up with the development intervention tool or intervention policy tools, and then we come with the policy, is to get the input from client. So we mean that we need to engage the client. And then we need also to identify and analyze the problem. What is actually the problem? What is then we identify the problem, and then we can analyze the problem, and then from there we can intervene. What can the microfinance can intervene to achieve their goals? Okay, that finally we are looking at the goals. Okay, the second one is the institutional framework. How can we establish and protect property right, permitting economic cooperation and organization, and also facilitating transaction? Okay, because you know that the definition of institution is cover the rules and also cover the cultures. So how can the cultures and also how can the rules can facilitate the framework, institutional framework that we can introduce into the microfinance program? Okay, and finally, the lesson learned is about the benefit. What are the benefits that you can get if you adopt the digitalization? Okay, one is how can we mitigate the risk and cost of cash? Okay, we want to reduce the amount of cash in your premises, and also we want to, at the same time, we want to, how can we mitigate the risk? So risk is one of the main factors in the current business scenario of microfinance activities. Okay, and also issue of sustainability has been always mentioned when we discuss about the microfinance. So how can we increase the operational efficiency, and how can we offer a range of product to the digitalization, and how can we use the digitalization to increase our outreach, in that we can serve our client better in the presence of a digital economy. I want to discuss a little bit on the institutional framework, because I'm sure that you are aware about when we study about the constitutional economics. One of the elements that we should refer to is our constitution. So our constitution provides us on these three functions: property right, political behavior, and also legal rules. Okay. If you look at in our constitution, there is the provision in our constitution talking about property right. What is the importance of this property right? Okay. Not only also our constitution also talk about the human right, but here we are talking about property right. What is our right? Owner of property. So owner may be owned by government or private. And then how do you can allocate that property or resource allocation? Therefore, in certain country or jurisdiction, microfinance is established under the Cooperative Act. Why? Owned by people. But in certain country, microfinance owned by the private or by commercial bank, is owned by the private. Okay? If it is owned by the government, meaning that the property is owned by the government. So where we wish that is the basic. Okay? So we need to go to the provision in the property right, how the property right say about the ownership, and also how the property right say about the resource allocation. So what the effect is, maybe the people may be excluded, maybe the government owned, or is the private owned that institution. Okay? And then the second one is the political behavior. If the political people think about the community welfare, okay, so it should be translated into vision, mission, and also the objective of Islamic microfinance institution. So if, let's say, you consider that community welfare as one of the mission, the mission or the intention of the political behavior, or if, let's say, the political behavior says that Maqasid Syariah will be the main, then mission, objective of Islam should be directed towards that. Okay? And finally, on the legal framework, is on the legal rules. The rule of action, example, weight, measure, and standard, and also contractual agreement, example, contract law and dispute arbitration. So that establish the rules and also respect for contract. So that will be the main idea behind the institutional framework if you want to establish a microfinance program. And then the second last of my discussion, our discussion is to look into the quest for identity. Now, we look at the identity. What is the identity? Although we see from the previous discussion that microfinance, we have the Islam attached with microfinance. But some says that, so we have the Islamic microfinance. But in other country, we have the social business attached to microfinance. So we are looking for, because it's not been discussed before this, and then we use this entrepreneurship model that was introduced by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where in the famous hadith, he guided a poor person to start an income-generating activity from a small amount of money gained through selling of productive asset instead of begging for alms and charity. So this is the basic model of entrepreneurship that was introduced by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then on the other hand, we have the philanthropy instrument. What are the instruments that we have for our philanthropy? Zakat, used as a relief instrument, seek to alleviate human suffering and the principle of compassion. And then wakaf as improvement instrument, seek to maximize individual human potential and to progress individual and their society. And finally, sadaqah as reform instrument, seek to solve social problems. I've been working with Dr. Hajjah, Associate Professor Dr. Hajjah Ros and Dr. Hasbi on to come up with a book on Islamic economy. Inshallah, will be published soon. Okay? So we discussed about that philanthropy instrument. Okay, then we look at the entrepreneurial spirit, individual initiative, creativity, small business, wealth creation, role of entrepreneur in job and wealth creation. This is the entrepreneurial spirit. And then what is the role of philanthropy is key to Muslim social and also cultural development. What is the motivation for us to come up with this is behind this nexus is the example of Umar Khattab when they endowed the land in Khaybar for the benefit of the Ummah. And also several examples during the Ottoman Empire, especially in the Balkan state, where Ottoman Empire introduced the work to develop the state. So, what we want to stress here is, as for identity is, microfinance should develop their identity based on entrepreneurship, philanthropy, nexus. Okay, because in the Al-Quran says, spend beyond your need, and social contract stipulating that the provision from Allah beyond a certain point should revert to society. Meaning that Allah is the best sustainer and then provide us with the resources to us, and then we need to use that resources, the resources that is beyond our need should be returned to the community or should revert to society. So therefore, we come up with this entrepreneurship philanthropy nexus. Okay. And finally, this is our the conclusion. So what we are trying to do in this paper is to survey. What we have done is we did a survey on the past literature on evaluation of microfinance, and then we draw some lesson from there. What are the lessons that we can draw from there is 3 areas that become the focus of future development of Islamic microfinance is institutional framework, development intervention tools, and digital economy. So we want to highlight here also new identity for microfinance, entrepreneurship, philanthropy nexus. Why we want to have? Because it leads individual to please Allah and to strengthen our soul. And not only that, to empower the enterprise via wealth creation. So enterprise can create wealth, but subsequently the value of philanthropy is reconstitution of wealth that will benefit the community. So therefore, our suggestion is in line with the Tawhidic epistemology, which play an important role in the establishment of microfinance. With that, thank you, Dr. Hakimi. I finished my presentation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
All right. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Prof.
For
Yeah.
Very short.
Okay, for your illuminating presentation. The major argument how to combine between entrepreneurship and philanthropy in the framework of Islamic microfinance. So we have Dr. Abdul Bashar Buhian from Faculty of Business, University Selangor, Malaysia as a discussant. Perhaps he can give comments or to discuss about the paper and also presentation. Please, Dr. Bashar, are you here? Dr. Bashar? Do we have Dr. Bashar here? Right. Hello?
It's not near the low.
Hello?
Dr. Bashar, I saw this is name.
Dr. Bashar, are you here with us?
It seems that the
It's not there. It's not in the list of participants.
haven't live tuned into the Zoom. So maybe we can move to the next paper first, Dr. Hakimi.
Okay. Maybe we can have 1 or 2 questions from audience before. Okay, maybe we can have another. We proceed with the presentation first, and then maybe we can go back for the Q&A and also discussion. Perhaps the organizing committee can get Dr. Bashar for the discussion. Okay, we move to Dr. Hajar Rose, Associate Professor Dr. Hajar Rose Abdullah from University Islam Sultan Sharif Ali Brunei Darussalam, with the title of her presentation, Islamic Microfinance in Brunei Darussalam, the role of non-government organizations. Please, Dr. Rose, Dr. Hajar Rose, the floor is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Can you hear me? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I don't know what happened to the background. Never mind, as long as you can see my screen later on. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So thank you very much, the chairman of the sessions, Dr. Muhammad Hakimi, and Alhamdulillah, I'm happy today to see and meet with all the what to call the attendees of this workshop, especially my guru, Dr. Professor Dr. Abdul Ghaffar Ismail. In fact, Dr. Muhammad Hakimi was my examiner.
Ketika kita tidak hanya
PhD. Yeah, can you hear me?
Jaros, can you background? Your background not clear.
The sound is on and off.
Yeah.
My background.
But it's okay on the background.
Should I change? Oh my God. Okay. I can use the background provided by the committee. Is it okay?
Okay.
Now you can see me. This is at home because my university internet today is not good. During at the end of the month, the quota is full, so I do it at home. So Alhamdulillah, thank you very much for inviting me to participate in this workshop. I'm happy to see a few familiar faces, my guru, my examiner, my friends, and also to see new friends here who are who are at the same interest to work on microfinance. Let me share my. Please allow me to share my screen. Can I share my screen?
Yes.
Better.
Please kindly wait.
Sorry.
We have allowed you to share the screen. Can you share the screen now?
Okay, I'm trying to search for the file. Can you see my screen now?
Ini akan
Not yet, Doctor.
tinggi terbuka melalui
Please
berbagai
host,
kemitraan
make
dan kolaborasi
Doctor as co-host.
dengan berbagai.
Yeah, done. You can see, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. All right. Sorry for the technical delay. All right. This is my topic, Islamic Microfinance in Brunei Darussalam, the role of non-government organization. Okay. As introductions, I would like to share. This is the some literature review, the findings regarding microfinance activities all over the world. I mean, some of the findings of the research on microfinance. One of the author or one of the researcher was out that the program must be reach the unbankable poor entrepreneur, but they must be with ideas or project which is profitable. Okay, and then it must be achieve a high rate of repayment. This is in order to ensure that the microfinance institution will be successful in rendering their services and sustainable. The loan must be giving net benefit to the poor, and in other words, it's not just by simply giving the credit or funding to the clients. And credit plus approach is another suggestions by another researcher who are saying that microfinance must be integrated with other services such as training, guiding, giving skill training to the clients in the form of not only know-how skills, but also the management, business management, financial management, and others. So that is the conditions or the terms, the factors that can help microfinance institutions to be sustained and success in rendering their services. And another findings saying that IMF or microfinance institutions are generally provided by NGOs and involve donors instead of Islamic banks. This is very interesting. Islamic banks are not the main player in funding or providing fund for Islamic microfinance. Islamic banks are discouraged because of several factors, such as lack of real profitability of microfinance, because Islamic banks is looking for the aim is more for profitability, and microfinance seems to be high risk for the financial institutions, for the financial institutions like banks, and then there are lacking of knowledge and expertise by the institutions themselves in handling poor clients ataupun the underprivileged people. And they also believe that the poor are lacking of skills, then therefore it is very high risk to fund the project run by the poor. So this is some of the factors which discourage Islamic banks to be involved in the microfinance. And then in the MENA region, it was found that most majority of NGOs, majority of microfinance institutions registered in the form of NGOs. Yeah, and there are, however, they are restricted from providing deposit services in addition to giving loans. So this is another difficulties which lead to sustainability issues to the microfinance institutions. Okay, and many of commercial banks and investors are unwilling to finance NGOs, microfinance institutions, which in the end they look for, or the tendency is to depend on donors. This is a few things that we need to pay attention as introductions to discussing further about what changes, what strategies or approach should be taken by Islamic microfinance. And looking at the Brunei Darussalam case, I would like to give some information about Brunei before I go to what I've written here in the paper. Most of us know that Brunei Darussalam's population is about 400,000, over 400,000, a little bit, and then the size of Brunei is small. The economy is dominated by petroleum and gas sector. It is a high per capita income, but we can't deny that in Brunei there are quite a lot of people who are categorized as poor and needy. By looking at we define the poverty as relative poverty in compared to the general population's standard of living. Okay, so the government looking at this poverty problems seriously by having by having a committee, khas special committee to look into the poverty problems. And also government has few agencies involved in providing services to alleviate poverty. So, but I will only looking or talking about government agencies which provide fund for the poor entrepreneurs. Okay. And there are a lot of NGOs also providing or try to serve the underprivileged families in many ways. Okay. But only few of them giving or providing fund for startup business and for extensions of their businesses. So, and one of the approach, actually this is the more popular by using Qardul Hassan's financing. And in fact, in many cases, actually they are providing a fund for not to be collected, but as grant. Previous studies mentions that government agencies program need there are a lot of room for improvements, and but I found that none of the researchers or authors writing about NGOs roles in providing fund for starting or for as a capital for business of the poor. Okay. So this in this paper, I try to look at the relationship between government agencies and NGOs in providing their services to the underprivileged families, and also looking at the limitations, what are their lacking of, you know, and then by doing that, we hope that we can come up with suggestions. This actually the data collected by there was research before this on social policy and social policy related to underprivileged people in Brunei. So the data also can use for this for the purpose of looking at their in the context of microfinance. There the data collected through in-depth interviews, focus group, and also observations on the activities done by the agencies service provider, and also the activities of the recipients. Okay. There are two categories of respondents in this research. One is the organizations. Organizations who render the services to the recipients, and another one is the individual recipients of welfare assistance. Welfare plus the capital for their micro businesses. For the organizations, the respondents coming from JAPEM, which is JAPEM is Jabatan Pembangunan Masyarakat Community Development Department. Yeah, that is the main government agencies which giving or look after the welfare of the people. And another one is Yayasan Sultan Haji Hassan Al-Bolkiah. This Yayasan established under its own act and belong to His Majesty of Brunei Sultan. The other organizations is the Council of Social Welfare, Majlis Kesejahteraan Masyarakat, After this, I'll call it as I name it as MKM. Okay, so that's the three organization we managed to do interview, and on the recipient side, there are 4 respondents, 2 men and 2 women. There are recipients of assistance from JAPEM and from MUIP, but later on is moved to Yayasan Sultan Haji Hasan Bolkiah. Okay, so most of them, not most of them, 4 of these respondents actually, they started applying to several agencies, but end up with managed to get help from Yayasan Sultan Haji Hasan Bolkiah. Okay, this is the summary of activities done by these government agencies, related government agencies to the poor entrepreneurs. First is MUIP, but MUIP they're using a zakat fund, so it must be strictly distributed to the asnaf, so it cannot be given to non-Muslim. It all the clients are all Muslim. Different from JAPEM, they can the assistance can be given also to the non-Muslim. But in this research, all the respondents, recipients are Muslims. And Brunei Darussalam Enterprise is another agencies set up, established by government to actually cater the entrepreneurship ecosystems and to support the young local business owners, youth in the category of age of 20 to 40 years old. So, and the syarat, the condition is those who receive assistance or funds from there, those who win the tenders of government linked companies in oil and gas industry and other government tenders. So, but they are also give this one the clients, the customers of theirs also include those who are underprivileged youth. But the limitation is that they are only provide service for businesses which already run for at least 1 year. So from these 3 agencies, JAPEM is the most close to the aim of this research. So in-depth interview is done with the officers from JAPEM, because JAPEM also involve NGOs in their activities. Okay? Yeah, I have explained this one. I just skip it. This is about the table that I have shown just now. Now we move to NGOs. There are quite a number of NGOs in Brunei Darussalam which pay attention or trying to help the underprivileged families or individual of poor and needy. The first three is MKM is I've introduced that this is one of the organizations that an in-depth interview will be done. This is they are registered under Societies Act of Negara Brunei Darussalam (ROS) in 2009. So they are very active. They also have plenty of programs. Some of it is like collecting fidya and giving charity school feeding to the children at school, children who are from a poor family, and also giving legal advice because the presidents and most of the many of the members of MKM are having legal background. Okay, they are lawyers, and they also provide capital for micro businesses. So the target group here, all of these NGOs are targeting or focusing on poor and needy, underprivileged family. Okay, another NGOs is SCOT, Society for Community Outreach and Training, established in 2011. They are trying to help and cater for sustainable poverty alleviation, having trying to help to come up with sustainable poverty alleviations program in Brunei by involving youth, to create awareness among the youth and also engage them in as their social responsibility activities. Another one is Green Frog Katak Hijau, humanitarian relief support, also focusing on underprivileged family. Bina Ukhuwah, established in 2011, also with the same aim, helping the poor. Ihsan Kasih project also and another one is although I put it at the last in the list, but actually they are the most significant and we can consider it as giving effective service to the underprivileged family, and also startup poor entrepreneurs, yayasan. So among these non-government organizations, we found that MKM and yayasan are giving assistance to the underprivileged family in the form of startup micro businesses capital. Therefore, we go into further in-depth interview, with them. And this is I have mentioned this as just a summary that interview respondents are coming from JAPEM, Yayasan, MKM, and also for individuals recipients of the schemes of the assistance. JAPEM has a link or network with yayasan and also because JAPEM is a jabatan government department actually having a lot of other responsibility in looking after the welfare recipients in many categories. And the capital assistance for micro businesses is only one small type of assistance provided by JAPEM. So in most cases, JAPEM rely on other agencies or other organizations in giving or providing training, especially, and in fact for further capital business capital assistance, they pass the clients to Yayasan, they send the clients to Livewire or DARE, and also in fact they get help from NGOs like MKM, Scott, and others. The most is from MKM. And also they have link with One Village, One Product, that is MPK is Majlis Perundingan Kampung. It's a kampung villages project. So this one is seems to be closer to the community as well as the NGOs. Okay, but okay, Yayasan has their own advantage in terms of funds and in terms of also the approach they use in guiding and help the poor entrepreneurs. Yeah, this is Yayasan. So Yayasan has a very strong financial background since it's belong to or established under by Kebahduli Sultan, and they give but their clients are not they still have limitation in terms of number of clients. They focus on small number, but to make sure the effectiveness of their services. So one of the thing is they give fund and then render support in other things such as facilities and facilities such as a place for the entrepreneurs to market their products, organizing exhibition, expositions. They bring along their clients to participate and meet the customers, and also providing a close guide with the close guide consultation services, and also they also having a network with DARE and Livewire, because DARE and Livewire, these two organizations focus on providing training, organizing training for startup and also extensions of business and other business management training. So Yayasan working close with them, but of course when Livewire charge the training, it's being paid by by Yayasan, and as well as if JAPEM sending their clients to Livewire, JAPEM will pay for them. Okay, MKM is a non-government organization. It's a association, persatuan, registered under Register of Association. They give legal advice service. They also give fund and guidance and monitoring the clients. At the same time, they also work closely with Japan, Lafoya, and other, and involve volunteers from universities, and school students, secondary school students. So the individual recipients, we managed to interview 4 respondents, and we found that they are trying to get help or assistance from several agencies I've mentioned just now, but as I said, they are with yayasan who funding or give finance for them to start, and the feedback from the recipients actually is very good regarding yayasan services, because yayasan give provide training for free. Training actually run by the other organizations, but paid by yayasan, and also their guidance, their service, they monitor closely and follow up the clients quite more regular compared to the other agencies. So the participants will
malah terbuka.
pardon? Sorry, I just continue. I don't understand. Involvement in the community help the participants to move on with their business, and they become more confident. This is the important findings, because we found out that involvement in community make able to change the recipients, to change the clients from someone who acquired, someone who malu-malu in the community, become more confident in talking, more confident in approaching customers, and introducing their product. So the other 3 respondents, I put it this way. One is the second one is also mentioned from yayasan is the most is the best, although he has experience being helped by other agencies, and he become what to call, he thankful to the yayasan for involving them in exhibition, because that is the place for him to get customers. Although the product will not have get sales during the exhibition, but the order after that managed to see customers, potential customers during the exhibition. And also it seems that his involvement in community give him boost him his confidence. In fact, he managed to become a leader in few organizations, and also motivate the others. I'm quite surprised to see this recipient's progress, because he's ex drug addict. yeah, and a lot of pressure he faced in his life, but the involvement and exposure to the community groups and also society give him confidence to move on. Another one is clients of Japim, also ending up with further assistance from Yayasan in 2017. Although it's just new 3 years ago, but a lot of things that she managed to get benefit from the program, especially the training which is paid by the Yayasan. She managed to get know-how skills and make her business product better, yeah, and marketable. Another one also new under Yayasan, but the feedback also good, and involvement in community seems to be started with WhatsApp group, and then further go to the community through Muslimah mosque, Muslimah masjid, Persatuan Muslimah Masjid, because masjid all these masjid got Muslimah association. So by involving there, she managed to get more confident and also customers. I forgot to mention her food. But I have more time. Last two slides actually, as what to call conclusions. The government agencies, NGOs are cooperating actually in performing their tasks, their activities. But one things that we found is the government agencies need help from NGOs in terms of manpower because they have limitations. Their tasks, they have multitask. They have many things to pay attention to. So this one is only one part of their task. So they need NGO. NGO on other side need fund, yeah, because they only depending on donors and also their members collection. On the government agencies, they okay, I already mentioned this. The non-government organization NGO have they are enthusiastic. They are very they are very active, yeah, in trying to support and provide solutions for the poverty, but and found that the NGO provide a proper, better guidance and monitoring follow up for the client. So from research findings, we found there is a need to empower. Okay, since they are having a limited manpower, so actually when they have link or connection with NGO or like one village one product in PK, but actually they are still handling their own project, their own clients, and they are only contact the NGOs, please get information or on this, or please visit this client and that client, that kind of relationship with NGOs. But they still have their own program. What I mean here is by empowering the community is let the community, let the NGOs, let the MPK, for example, and maybe in the future many other form of community community associations or groups handle on contributes on in catering the poor entrepreneurs. And the task of the government agencies is to coordinating to provide support to maybe to grant money.
So what happened to the visual? Takimi, what happened to the visual?
Tak boleh tu setelah di adjust formatting kan. Tapi untuk Razali boleh lah.
What happened to the
Are you
Takimi?
still there?
Oh.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. Can you hear
What
me?
happened to the visual?
Dr. Rose? Dr. Hakimi, it seems that Dr. Rose maybe lost her connection.
Lost in the jungle.
Assalamualaikum.
Yes. Assalamualaikum.
Yeah.
I was disconnected in the middle of my presentation. I don't know which slide. I think I hope it is
The last one.
It was the last slide.
Yeah, the last slide.
Yeah, the last slides, and it can be understandable on its not by reading the slide. So I end up end my presentation with Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Betul.
Takimi, done.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Hajar Rose, for your presentation, which I believe Brunei has their own distinctive features of Islamic microfinance. So now we have the discussion for this one. Our brother, Dr. Yuliza Sanrego from University Darussalam Gontor. Are you here, Dr. Yuliza? Long time not see you.
Hello, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ya, Syekh.
Yes, please, Dr. Yuliza.
Alhamdulillah.
You can discuss comments on the presentation, please.
Okay. Let me share the screen, please. Can you see the presentation, Dr. Hakimi? Hello?
Yeah.
Is it my slide? Okay.
Yuliza, you want to see your face?
Wait, Prof. my suhu. How are you, Prof?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Wait, Prof. I'll show.
Show.
Okay. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh. I'm very thankful to the committee for having me discussion in this session. Respectable rector, my senior Bapak Dr. Bejo Santoso. How are you? How are you, Pak Bejo? Okay, of course, I'm really happy to see again my suhu, Prof. Agi, Kafar Ismail. How are you, Prof?
Alhamdulillah, how are you?
Long time to see you. No see you.
Time to see you.
Okay, hopefully we can join research. I have some topic that could be, extend the paper of Dr. Rose. Some topics that really interesting. So, of course, I thank also to the presenters, speakers. Without further ado, I'd like to have not many, only 5 slides. Hopefully, it could be as a consideration to have fruitful discussion on this good occasion. So, first of all, I'd like to start from the general assessment of the paper. Of course, this is very interesting paper by Dr. Hajar Rose, whereby the paper is study the relation between government agencies and NGO in providing services to the underprivileged families, since none of the study looking at the NGO's program. So this is the very distinctive character of the Islamic microfinance in Brunei, as being mentioned by Dr. Hakimi. The same case with the some countries of MENA. So the legal status of Islamic microfinance is as NGO. Of course, in Indonesia itself, there are some Islamic microfinance. The status is also in NGO, but majority is under Ministry of the Cooperative. Although since 2 years back, OJK also, Financial Service Authority also, they launched specific Islamic microfinance institution under OJK. So there is two character of Islamic microfinance in Indonesia under Financial Service Authority and under Ministry of Cooperative. So in this case, please correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Hajaros. No specific microfinance institution was established to carry out microfinance activities in Brunei Salam. It is only the Community Development Department under the Ministry of Youth and Culture Affairs, or MKM, as charitable society registered under the Societies Act of Negara Brunei Darussalam, which is JAPEM is government, and some of government agencies, and MKM is NGO, one of the NGO that carries out similar function, just like those of microfinance institution. So the major contribution of the paper will I myself, the contribution of the paper could be in the idea that government, in the short term, in the short run, couldn't effectively work to provide services to alleviate poverty. That's why the paper trying to carry out how the NGO is trying to, you know, to cater the issue of adverse selection and so forth and so on. So the relevance of the topic to academia and or to industry, first is the issue of adverse selection. So this is the topic that could be, you know, could be extend to the next research, whereby in the issue of adverse selection, government agency need improvement, particularly to critically define underprivileged families. This is always challenging, how to define the people or the applicant or the beneficiaries, whether under economically active poor or the poor of the poorest. So of course there should be different approaches when we are trying to map the basic status or the basic character of the potential beneficiaries of the poor. This is the first issues, the first topic. And the second one is the agency problem. It is particularly for the benefit of government when they are doing agency channel with NGOs. This is as being presented by Dr. Haji Rose. Some of the initiative has been done. How government agencies trying to have a channel with some NGOs, and of course it could be some issues, particularly on the issue of agency problem. So this is the challenge of the government, how to make sure that the agency, the structure of the agency is really or effectively done. I mean, could doing good, doing well when trying to alleviate the poverty. For example, in Indonesia, we do have also under government PT Permodalan Nasional Badani, or abbreviated as PNM, Indonesian state-owned company, which is engaged in financial services. Although this institution is under government, but the legal status is under I mean under the core of or the term of financial services. The company was founded on June 1st, 1999, and aims to help develop micro, small, medium enterprises and cooperative. So this is also mentioned in the Prof. Agi presentation. I forgot the term. The quest for identity, yeah, Prof. Gafar. So again, the identity of the Islamic microfinance is very challenging topic. Let's say how to compare the basic structure of social business and cooperative. If we read the paper written by let's say by Prof. Yunus, why cooperative is tend to have mission drift, or to having a trap on the mission drift, because the cooperative itself is actually under the quote unquote under the control of the members. So how the management of the cooperative is trying to to come up with the profit share at the end of the year, whereby social business, of course, it could be some point of view regarding the social business, but the point is the substance of the social business is there is no single shareholder which is trying to again quote unquote trying to co-opt, trying to dictate how the profit of the institution is should be given to the members, should be given to the shareholder. It should be given to the to the beneficiaries, or in the issue of wakaf is mawquf alay. So this is the social business running the business. How the social business running the business, the profit is eventually released and shared to the benefit of the society. The next slide, for the enhancement of the paper, I'd like to give us a humble input, Dr. Hajar Rose, the theoretical perspective that could aid the paper. You could also try to the paper written by Bennett and Cuevas, whereby they are trying to come up with the issue of financial inclusion.